At the other guard position, Carlos Arroyo. The head coach of the visiting team is Tyron Lue. And now your starters. At small forward, at 6'9", number 33, Robert Covington. At the other forward position, at 6'9", number 30, Julius Randle. Starting at shooting guard, at 6'6", number 25, J.R. Smith. The other guard, standing 6'5", number 6, Jordan Clarkson. Manning the middle, standing 6'11", number 8, Jaleel Okafor. The head coach of your home team is Brett Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, your Philadelphia 76ers.
Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my colleagues Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Looking at the last game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was a win against Miami. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all theirs. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
And a couple guys got hot early, and then it became contagious. You could see that everybody kind of pitched in when it came to shooting.
Exactly right, Greg. I mean, normally there's a hot shooter. The defense can kind of lock into that guy and then let somebody else get some shots, but that wasn't even an option in that game because everybody was on fire.
And look at the starters for the Cavaliers. Lance Stevenson is out there with Beasley. Then it's Oden. Then there's Arroyo. And it's Booker in at the shooting guard position. And they're running. Here's Arroyo. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Philadelphia started to create a little bit of an identity last season after all their transactions, Clark, and shifting around. They settled down and came together.
Yeah, and I tell you, it looks like the identity will be the Sixers being a defensive team going forward. Offense has its fits and starts, but defensively they found some traction.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. The 76ers getting the bucket. And he gets it to go. Stevenson's got his first points of the night.
Well executed possession. They controlled the shot. Nicely done.
For Philadelphia, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Stolen away, and the Cavaliers pushing it up now. Shot by Oden is no good.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Randle with the bucket.
Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, that stuff gets under my skin.
Here's Arroyo. 11 points for him in that last game against Miami.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air.
Now, here's Clarkson. He's guarded closely. Here's Booker. The shot's good. Arroyo making the play. For Philadelphia, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Here's Covington. He's guarded by Stevenson. Randle, a screen on Stevenson. 6 to shoot. From 11 feet away, the shot no good. And it's the Cavaliers taking it the other way. And this is the first season matchup for them against this 76ers team.
And as you would expect, they came out on top in last season's series against this club, but no reason to expect anything different this time around.
Exactly. Guys, they're clearly the better team, but you can't take anybody for granted. They're all NBA players. They get their checks twice a month across the league, so you've got to come prepared and focused and ready to play.
And Lance Stevenson really couldn't find minutes in Charlotte last season. Ended up sitting out a lot of games as a DNP CD. Not the start he wanted with the new team.
Lito's checked in for Booker. Okafor. Another miss by Philadelphia.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
And that one is good by Beasley. And for Stevenson, to his credit, he took the benching in stride. He knew he just wasn't a good fit at times.
Yeah, and his coach, Steve Clifford, was upfront about it, and I thought did a nice job handling that. Clifford said he wanted Stevenson as a Hornet, but just couldn't find a unit with which to make it work.
The 76ers trail by 8. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket. Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them operating a lot of their offense from the interior today.
Now here's Beasley. He's coming off a 13-point game against Miami. And now the 76ers on the break. Covington's shot is off. Here's Lito, covered by Okafor. Right through the D for the layup.
They've worked hard and created great chances for themselves in this opening quarter.
And if they match that effort at the defensive end, watch out.
Here's Randall. What a tremendous game he played against Utah. And Oden sends it back. Here's Lito, covered by Smith. That pushes it to double digits. Lito's got his second bucket.
And it really starting to look like they're going to have one of those days where nothing goes wrong.
Well, Greg, they certainly haven't done anything wrong so far, stretching the lead into double digits already.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here, and every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
And the best way to do that when you're missing shots is to get to the foul line. Be aggressive, get to the foul line, and knock down some of those freebies, and the tide can turn for you.
Some changes for Philadelphia. Embiid comes in for Randall, and it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Jordan Clarkson. Cleveland also making some changes. Machine Thabit, he's checked in for Oden. James Ennis comes in for Michael Beasley. And it's Anderson in for Lance Stevenson. Here's Covington. 11-point game his last outing. Smith for 3. Cavaliers with the rebound. Out of bounds, Philadelphia takes possession. Right now, let's bring up the 2K leaderboard and see the teams that really knew how to clog the passing lanes last season. The 76ers, number 1.
You know, I don't know if the numbers even told the story. I mean, their defense was as good as it gets, often just leaving their opponents completely demoralized.
Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Brett Brown.
Well, guys, in terms of their focus coming into this one, he said he's expecting their defense, especially on the interior, to be vital. He said we can protect the rim with our shot blocking. Of course, we'd prefer to keep them outside the paint, but that capability to deny finishes certainly could come in handy tonight. Kevin, we'll see if he's right.
Okay, thank you, Doris. And the defensive approach, guys, how do you think that'll play out here?
You know, sounds like they'd like to keep this a low-scoring affair. This could be one of those grind-it-out kind of games.
And I'm sure that would suit them just fine. It may not be what the fans want to see or hear, but a win is a win. Come on now. A W is a W, and that's what you're playing for.
And Thabit sends it back. Here's Anderson. The shot's good. Arroyo making the play. Anderson's got his first 2 points of the night. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for Cleveland.
Well, in the first half of play, they're closing out aggressively, blocking shots. A key indicator of their activity on the defensive side.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
Cleveland with a very strong year last year. They were a very solid team on the road, as most LeBron-led teams are.
Yeah, he's a special guy in terms of how he can elevate other players. Didn't start out hot on the road, but eventually got it together and ended up 22-19 away from home.
Now here is Smith. His last outing, he had 8 points. Got it. Nice one there from Dellavedova.
Here it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number one for them right now.
Here's Arroyo. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Arroyo's got 5 points so far.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Timeout for the 76ers.
Timeout called the 76ers. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
A lot of firepower coming off the bench in that game really allowed them to escape with victory.
I thought the bench was the X factor for him. You can't rely on that kind of scoring coming from the reserves every game. But when it shows up, it's a nice weapon.
Catching up on the changes for Philadelphia. Carl Landry's checked in for Okafor. Grant comes in for Robert Covington. And Hollis Thompson subbed in for Smith. Poke loose. There's the triple. But they get it back. The shot by Lido no good. Grant the pass to Dellavedova. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
And guys, the Sixers drafted Embiid 3rd overall despite a foot injury that would keep him out all of his rookie season. Came to the Sixers with a back issue out of Kansas. Of course, they knew all this going in.
Yeah. And Kevin, the Sixers have made an art here lately of drafting players who aren't immediately eligible to play. 2 years ago it was Nerlens Noel who sat out the season with the knee injury. Last year it was Dario Saric who played overseas, and now Embiid.
Regarding Joel Embiid, the foot was not his only injury when he entered the draft. In his one season at Kansas, he battled both back and knee injury. Obviously, though he's very young, his durability is of some concern.
Booker, he's checked in for the Cavaliers. Rozier comes in for Lance Stevenson.
And talking about Joel Embiid, there are some who feel the Sixers targeted guys in the draft last year who couldn't help them win games. One wonders at what point does it become anti-competitive.
And Ennis drops them both. Cavs were poised to make a huge run last year in the playoffs, swept the Celtics in the first round, but it cost them.
Yeah, and even though they did get that sweep, they lose Kevin Love for the rest of the way, and that put a big hurdle in their quest for the title.
Now here's Embiid. Embiid the screen. Dellavedova kicks to Landry, so the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
No denying it, injuries were a big part of the storyline in the Cavs postseason. Fortunately, LeBron James was otherworldly after the first round. Took care of the Bulls, then went on to sweep the Hawks to get back to the finals.
And for the Cavs last season, their toughest test would be in the finals against the Warriors. Like every other team, they just couldn't handle the Warriors for a full series. A great run to the finals, and surely they'll want to return there this season.
Anderson dishes to Booker. Back to Anderson. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
That's a heads-up play there on offense. The pump fake cleared the way for the nice layup.
We've got 28 seconds left here in the opening quarter. The dish now to Landry. And Thabeet sends it back. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. There's 21 seconds left in the first quarter.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I agree. Not a lot of activity chasing down their misses. Some teams focus on getting back, I understand that, but you should send at least one guy after those.
Offensive rebound. Pass to Ennis. Here's Rozier. Fires the 3. Can't hit. No shortage of scoring here at the end of the first quarter. Cavaliers lead by 6. Live from Philadelphia,